Your life is calling and it wants you back. So if you're ready to answer that call, then you're in the right place. The Ad Tax Podcast with me, Jasmine. We're having unfiltered conversations about the cost of taking your life back. Because yeah, it's time to know your worth in ad tax. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Ad Tax Podcast with me, Jasmine, the podcast where I remind you to know your worth and then add tax, period. Okay, so I'm really excited for today's episode because this has been in the works for months, literally months. As you guys know, if you've been keeping up with everything, I took a little bit of a break and now I'm back. But before I took the break, I started the Breaking Out of the Matrix series on this podcast. And if you are unsure what that is or you want to know what this little series is about, go and check out the first episode of that series and catch up, get up to speed. But yeah, we're going to talk about the first pillar of my matrix today, which is motherhood. So I'm really excited about that. And I feel like, well, first of all, before I even get, let me hold my horses, because I was getting a little ahead of myself because I'm so excited to talk about this today. First of all, if you are new here, welcome. Secondly, if you're returning, welcome back. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and leave a 5-star review and a little comment. And yeah, I think that's all you can do on like Spotify and stuff. But leave a comment, especially if this episode resonates with you, or if you have any questions, comments, any experiences that you personally want to share that relate to what I'm about to talk about today. Drop those in the comments because I want to hear them and I want to hear from you guys. So if you're interested in following me on social media, I'm in almost every corner of the internet doing something all the time. So you can find Ad Tax Affirmations if you're into self-concept work. If you're on a spiritual healing journey like myself, then you can find content over there that will be helpful for you. I also post subliminals and affirmations and mantras on that TikTok and YouTube. And also, if you want to download subliminals so you can listen to them all night long or on the road or on vacation without having to worry about using your data on your little data plan, then go ahead and head over to the Ad Tax Collection, which is a link that I will put in the description below, or you can find it in the link in my bio on YouTube. But the Ad Tax Collection is where I will be uploading digital products. I already have a couple up there already for you to download and use however you please. So if you would like to support my business another way, that is one way that you can support, and I appreciate all of you that download it. It means so much, and I'm so glad that you guys find it helpful. And yeah, I love making them, so I definitely got to get a couple more up there soon. But I also have a couple mantras available for download as well, and you can read the whole description on what the entire package includes. And then if you are interested in animal advocacy, because I personally believe that being in your main character era, living your life as the main character, it also includes giving back. And however, you can't give back from an empty cup, which is why I have the capacity to give back now. And it's to causes that are very near and dear to my heart, which is animal rights, animal welfare, which is how I started Ad Tax Angels. So over on Ad Tax Angels, you can find that on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and that is where I talk about animal rights, animal advocacy, and just sharing my takes on things that are going on in the world of animals, pets, all of that good stuff. So, if you're interested in that and you want to contribute to a good cause, raising awareness, advocating for the voiceless, being a voice for the voiceless, then go ahead and follow me on AdTax Angels as well. And yeah, I am just so excited about how everything is growing so far and all of the fun things that I have planned, all of the exciting stuff that I can't wait to offer you guys through all the different avenues of either this podcast, Ad Tax Affirmations, or Ad Tax Angels. So, yeah, definitely check that out and follow me over there. So, now that we got that out the way, now we can get into the meat of today's episode. And this is why I love being child free. I love it so much. So first of all, I'm going to have you close your eyes. Unless you're like driving or doing something important, then just come along for the ride visually in your brain. Imagine this, right? You work a long day. Or let's say you're on vacation or something. And you had just a really long day of traveling, working, content creation, whatever you do. And you come home. And the first thing you hear when you come home is, "Mommy, what's for dinner?" And then not only is that like rattling, but then imagine that you were married to a man that was already at home but didn't cook any dinner because he doesn't know how to cook. So that right there is my personal hell. And I know it is for a lot of other women as well. I know I'm not alone. Yeah, coming home to a child is not something that a child that's mine. It's not something that I ever want to do. So we're going to get into why I decided to be child free, because how this ties into my matrix. Again, listen to the first episode if you want a more in-depth overview. But I recognized that, well, first of all, I know that this conversation will resonate with a lot of women, but I also know that it won't resonate with all women. And that's okay, because I feel like there are certain women that are destined to be mothers and that are really good at being moms. But I feel like a lot of moms shouldn't be moms or didn't want to be moms, but felt pressured to become moms. And I also feel like society pressures women to become mothers just because we have the capacity to bring life into this earth, when not everybody is built for motherhood. Not everybody wants it. Not everybody has the capacity for it. So I recognize that I was one of those women that's like, I don't have the capacity to be a mom. But for so many years, I felt the pressure of like just adding it to my to-do list in life, because I felt like as a woman, it was essentially like my duty to bring at least one kid into the world. And at the end of the day, when it comes to society and stuff, I feel like they just want us to have kids to continue the wheel of capitalism and just, well, two things. When it comes to Christianity and the church, they just want more foot soldiers for the Lord. So when it's pressure from them, they're just trying to get more church members and people to go to Bible school or whatever. And then on the other side, when it just comes to straight up capitalism, definitely just want more warm bodies to become cashiers or to work all these other jobs and just they don't care about the actual children themselves and what they would grow up to be as adults. They are just like, we just need more people to keep capitalism going. Because what happens if you don't have more children being birthed and the birth rate is declining? Oh, you have less people to work all of these jobs that are severely underpaid, mind you, especially right now. Like, minimum wage is what, $7.50 still? And you want us to bring more kids into the world for what? And then on top of that, you also are always forcing all this consumerism, overconsumption, trying to pressure us into overconsumption so that we just spend more money, and then we're working for like pennies, and then spending the pennies on other stuff to make the 1% just richer. So it's really, yeah. And, but before I get into more of my personal thoughts, I'm going to give a quick rundown of some facts, a quick fact sheet rundown of a couple statistics that really stood out to me and that really solidified, like, yeah, I'm not having kids. No thank you. That doesn't sound like a good time for me or the kid. So, the hypothetical child. So, yeah. So here are some stats. Here we go, you guys. So, we're going to rewind a little bit to 2023 because I don't think they have any recent stats right now that I could find personally. If you have more recent ones, let me know. But get a load of this. Every day in 2023, over 700 women died from preventable causes related to pregnancy and childbirth. A maternal death occurred almost every 2 minutes in 2023. Black youth are 4 times more likely to be killed with guns than their white peers. Oh yeah, and if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm black, if you didn't know. So that's why those black stats. Wait, not black. So that's why the stats, when it comes to, you know what I mean. That's why the specifics matter to me specifically. Specifically. Okay. Children of color are far more... Sorry, that's not funny. Okay. Children of color are far more likely to experience campus gun violence. It's more than twice as much for Hispanic students and over 3 times as much for Black students. About 1 out of 5 gay and lesbian youth have been threatened or injured with a weapon on school property. Because I think it's a great reminder that your kids are not guaranteed to be straight, and straight isn't just the default. So I think a lot of people don't consider that when they're having kids, unfortunately. And another stat, 90% of teenagers killed in an act of dating violence were girls. According to the study from the National Bureau of Economic Research, the wealthiest Black woman in California is at a higher risk of maternal mortality than the least wealthy white women. Because they don't care about us in the healthcare system. Black birthing people are also more likely to experience life-threatening conditions like preeclampsia, postpartum hemorrhage, and blood clots, as well as increased incidence of other pregnancy-related complications like preterm birth and low birth weight. Based on previous U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates, it could cost anywhere from $241,106 to $513,722 to raise a child to age 17. When adjusted for inflation, the number jumps to $322,427 for a middle-income married couple as of June 2025, based on data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The cost for lower income households may only be $241,106, according to government data, while higher income families may expect to spend $513,722 to raise a child, $500,000 for one child. Government estimates do not include the cost of higher education, aka college. So, let that sink in for a minute. So those were some really startling facts that made me think, why would I want to have a kid? What are the what are the perks, you know? Again, especially if I don't have that maternal instinct of like, oh, I don't care what it costs. I don't care if I have 2 hours of sleep and 5 nickels in my purse. Like, I want to be a mom. No, like, what am I getting from that, you know? And yeah, so some other reasons why that broke this pillar in my matrix and why I decided to be child free is that birthing a kid wrecks your body. I know we see all these celebrities that are like, oh, I bounced back after having my baby because I went away for 3 months and like got a tummy tuck and a mommy makeover and had a private trainer and a private chef and all this stuff. Okay, great. Love that for them. But first of all, I don't have time for all of that. That's a lot of time and money, more money on top of the hospital bill that I'll be receiving and then the hundreds of thousands of dollars to raise the child and give them a good life because they're not going to be living in a shack. But my body is tea right now. So why would I go out of my way to ruin a good thing, you know? Like, I don't want to get a mommy makeover. I don't want to have to worry about, you know, like I have a very nice set of abs and I would like to keep those. Because also imagine that I, for some reason, would have to get like a C-section and they got to cut into my abs. No, thank you. And yeah, it also makes you age a little bit rougher from what I've heard. And I would like to not age that way. I would like to age without worrying about the impacts of, oh, this kid that I popped out, like, oh no, am I gonna age like, I don't want to be mean, but just not aging in the way that I personally want to age. That's something that matters to me. How I look matters to me a lot. And I'm not willing to give that up for a kid. I'm not willing to give that up to experience motherhood to an adult child. Or not an adult child, a human child. I'm not willing to give that up. Sorry, I go to the gym, I do my skincare routine, and for the 50-50 chance that like it's not even gonna matter? No thanks. And then on top of that, just like I was saying about the stats for all the money, I like money. I love money. Me and money are like that. So why would I go out of my way again to just throw money at a kid? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me when I have other goals and things that I want to do with my money. Like, I want to get a fancy car. I want to go on really nice vacations multiple times a year. I don't want to have to sacrifice those things just because I'm like, oh, Timmy needs a new pair of shoes, or oh, I got to send Timmy to soccer lessons, or I got to pay for Timmy's school. Like all of that stuff. The food bill. Oh, that would skyrocket. When I literally can just meal prep for myself right now, and that's all I got to worry about. And like getting some snacks, going out, you know, for lunch with a friend or something. And that's all I got to worry about. I don't want to have to worry about, And especially on those weeks where I'm like, I might not want to eat the healthiest, but I'm also not going to feed my kid junk food if I were to have a kid, hypothetically. Because the whole childhood obesity epidemic that's still going on. Don't even get me started on that. But I will would not be contributing to that. Therefore, I would be feeding my child really good quality food, which means that my food bill would be super more expensive. And then on top of that, if I were to have one kid, I wouldn't want my kid to be a single child. I would feel really bad if they came into the earth and didn't have anybody to hang out with, especially because I would still be going on vacations and doing what I want. So then I would have to have two kids, and that's a whole thing. And it's like, if you thought one was bad enough, like two? Two? No. And that's, yeah, I don't know. The math on that, oh my God, that's so much money just flying out of my pockets. Like, I don't want to deal with that. So, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, I get so overstimulated so easily, and I already have so much on my plate as it is that like having a kid, like, sometimes when I'm out in public and I hear people's kids, I get overstimulated, and that's not even my kid, and it might be like a 30-second thing. But if I'm like shopping in the grocery store and I hear someone's baby like crying in the same aisle, just wailing, it's just so loud, and like there's no way to just make it stop because it's a baby and they're just doing what babies do. But imagine living with that and coming home from a long day, because mind you, these companies, let's say you are working a job, right? Because for me, the goal is to not work a job my entire life. It's to work for myself and not be on that rat wheel for the rest of my life. But imagine if you are working a job and you gotta work and you gotta extend all your social battery at work, and then you gotta come home and still be active and happy and smiling around the kid. And that's a lot. Like, they're always talking because they always have questions. Especially as they get older. And then imagine in the teenage phase when they can talk back, and imagine they catch an attitude. Oh my God, no. I would get so annoyed so quick. I would be like, I literally, I risked my health, my body to put you on this earth, and that's how you're going to talk to me? But then that's another thing, is that I feel like I would do that, and that's not fair to the kid. It's not fair for a mom to be like, oh, well, I put you on this earth, so you owe me this, that, and the third, or you should treat me this, that, and the third way. Okay, well, if you weren't the best mom and you can't see where you might have messed up or have some kind of accountability for anything, then you shouldn't be confused whenever your kids like don't want to hang out with you, especially as they get older and start like peeping the weird shit that you do. And for me, I just feel like it's not fair to bring a kid into the world and then to potentially not be like, if that's something that I'm not going to do, it's going to eke out onto them in some way. It's going to leak out from my energy some way, and they're going to be affected by it. And that's not going to lead to a sustainable and super healthy relationship between me and that kid, because I'm going to probably end up feeling some kind of resentment, and then they're going to feel some kind of resentment towards me because I'm probably not going to step up in every single area that you need to step up as a mom. And I know that if I were to be a mom, I would do my best, but I don't feel like doing my best, which is why I'm not having a kid. There's some days where I just want to be moody. I just want to feel my feelings and be in a bad mood or be sad or be a recluse and just hide in my room. And when you have a kid, you can't do that. You can't just act like the kid isn't there. Sure, you can send them to, grandma's house or a friend or a babysitter or something. But then you still gotta get them back, you know? And half the time they're like, I want my mommy. And yeah, I just don't think that it would be a fair situation for me or the hypothetical kid. So that is why I personally don't want to have a kid, because I don't have the time, I don't have the patience. I get overstimulated. I don't feel like talking to a kid. I don't feel like explaining things 5 times in a row because they forgot or they still don't understand, and I have to figure out 3 other ways to try and explain it to them. I don't feel like worrying about, oh, when they turn 18, are they never going to talk to me again because did I mess up somewhere? Like, no. Oh, and another thing that I forget, because we're almost done with this, but another thing that I hear a lot from women, and it's been said to me a couple times, is when I say that I don't want to have kids. And a response is, oh, well, who's going to take care of you when you're older? Huh? What? Who's going to take care of me when I'm older? Me. I don't plan on being some crippled old woman. And granted, you never know how life is going to go, but I don't live in a field of negativity to the point where I feel like I need to drag another human being into this. Oh, and that was a point I forgot to make earlier. They didn't ask to be here. So why am I going to bring somebody into this earth that didn't ask to be here and then to bank on in what, 30 years, 40 years, when I'm 80, 90 years old and they're in their 30s and 40s, bank on them being still in the same state, same city as me, and able to come and take care of me when I get old and might need help. What sense does that make? And also, why would I just let myself deteriorate or get so bad to a point where I do need my kid to put their whole life on hold and come and take care of me? That's selfish. And yeah, that is selfish, because I think a lot of child-free women get called selfish, but I am selfish, which is why I'm not having a kid. But the real selfish people are the ones that have kids and then expect them to take care of them. So that's not fair to that kid. So I feel like as a collective, we need to consider the fact that these are human beings who have their own life journeys, and they're not some like investment that you just cash in on when you're 80 and you want some company around. Like, get some friends, stay in the gym, eat healthy so that you at least stack the odds up to be more in your favor of not having to be in a nursing home and not having to rely on your kids. Like, you should want them to be living their own lives. They shouldn't just be brought into the world just to take care of you. That's selfish. And because I'm not going to have any kids, that means that I can spend all my money on whatever I want and not have to spend it on literally anybody else unless I want to, but I'm not obligated to. I can cut off all of my exes, block every single one of them, because I don't have a ex-husband, I don't have a baby daddy, none of that. So I literally never have to talk to or see any of my shitty exes ever again. And I can travel as much as I want. I can switch careers as much as I want. I don't have to worry about sending my kids to school, which to me is public schools, especially these days, are just becoming like slaughter lotteries. And I don't have to walk around with the anxiety of whether or not my kid is going to come home from school. And I don't have to worry about, oh, well, let me send them to private school, which is just even more money out of my pockets that could be used for a vacation. Or, oh, let me homeschool them, which is just more time that I could be spending on an island somewhere, being hot, having fun, and living my best life. So when it comes down to it, I just want to do what I want, and I'm glad that I can do what I want, and I'm glad that I did not bring a kid into this world whenever I felt like I was obligated to, and that I decided to, and that I didn't ever find myself in a position where I was tempted to bring one into the world before my frontal lobe developed. Because I feel like once I hit 25, that's when I really was like, what's this whole motherhood thing about? And I'm just really glad that and grateful that I have the opportunity to choose, and to choose with wisdom and knowledge that I don't want to bring a kid into this world, because that kid hypothetically would not be happy. And I wouldn't be happy. We'd both be miserable. And who's winning? Nobody's winning in that situation. So, yeah, if this episode resonated with you, or if there's anything that stood out to you in why I love being child-free and why I will stay being child-free, Team Deletus the Fetus, Team FTK, drop a comment in the comment section below on your take on this. Even if it's a little different, I want to hear it. And again, like I said in the beginning, because I'm sure there will still be people that try, it's okay if this didn't resonate with you, because again, there are some people that should be moms and that are destined to be moms. I'm just not one of those people. And so this is why I'm saying the reasons why I love being child-free and why I will stay child-free. And if this made you think of maybe second guessing if you want to have kids, then that's a train of thought that's worth following. It's worth looking at all of your options. It's worth looking at the facts. It's worth looking at the stats. It's worth looking at the type of life that you want to live, because at the end of the day, this life is for you. It's not for anybody else. It's not for a kid. It's not for a man. It's not for some whatever else. It's for you. So if you are second guessing it and you feel like maybe that's not the right choice for me, listen to that. Don't ignore your gut, because you might regret it. So yeah, so that's all I have for you guys today. Tune in next time where we're going to tackle more of this Matrix series and go on to the second pillar. And I'm so excited to talk about that, but you gotta wait to see which one we're going to talk about next. I'm not going to tell you in advance. And oh my God, I'm so tired. So I'm going to go make some salmon, take a relaxing shower, light a candle. I bought some flowers for myself the other day. So just stare at my flowers and go to sleep. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Follow me on socials if you are interested. Don't forget to check out Ad Tax Affirmations, Ad Tax Angels, and the Ad Tax Collection. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Ad Tax Podcast. I'm so grateful for everybody that listens and supports this podcast. Woo! And I will catch you guys in the next episode. And remember to always know your worth and then add tax. Period. Hey Diva, thanks for tuning in. If this episode resonated with you, make sure you leave 5 stars, drop a comment, and share it with someone who needs it. And I'll catch you in the next episode of the Ad Tax Podcast. Remember, know your worth and then add tax.